Well, welcome to Processing, the podcast with Banjay Records. I'm Devin Gough, and I am privileged to have two amazing artists, two amazing creatives on the precipice of the release of a brand new single. A cover, but it's brand new. I like to say it may be old, but it's new to you. Trust me, when you hear this, this is new to you. I have the maestro himself, producer, songwriter extraordinaire, DoRohn Gough. Welcome, DoRohn. Oh yeah, the crowd goes wild.
That's what I hear in my head right now, right? So.
And we have Lady JOHDI.
Hello.
Lord have mercy. You know, it's late tonight, and this is way past my bedtime. But I only come out at night for a few special folks. And Janice, you are one of those people. You are an amazing talent. But more to that. We are getting ready to release a brand new single, and that's going to be a part of a series of releases that's going to be happening with you, DoRohn. Tell us a little bit about this journey that you felt the need to come on out and kind of be the forefront and bring along some of your amazing friends to help you release some of this music that's in your heart.
It's amazing that you even put it like that, because this thing came back full circle. I will never forget back in 2014 when we signed her to a production deal under DoRohn production team, under the whole DoRohn entertainment
I
umbrella.
That. What was that song that she did that I love so much?
Was it Don't Lie to Me?
Don't Lie to Me.
Don't Lie to Me, yeah.
Do you remember that song?
Of course I do.
Can you sing just a line or two of that? Not now. We'll come back to it. Go ahead, DoRohn. Continue on.
No, and the work process. I mean, she was brought to me when she was 15 years old. I will never forget. And then,
oh, she's not 15 anymore.
No,
guys.
long ways from that. And but I knew the gift. I was fully aware of how special it was then and how it has grown to now. And working, figuring out the sound and everything during that time, there was this one itsy-bitsy problem that we was running into, and I was running into multiple situations with different artists, is how do they build on their personal brands without having to go to get a 9-to-5 outside of the thing that they love to do. And so I knew this was an issue. And then at the same token, I was figuring out, or just being privy to, wedding bands and corporate event bands and different things that nature.
So your whole thrust was, you have this artist. How can you, the magic is when they're in their creative space.
Absolutely. How
can we keep them operating in that creative space without having to break it up and go work a 9-to-5 job and kind of figure out life as that's happening in real time?
Yes.
And so then you created what?
Banjay Entertainment.
Banjay Entertainment. What is Banjay Entertainment?
Banjay Entertainment is a talent agency. Mm-hmm. And a talent agency that houses different show concepts, different bands, and then we manage close to about over 70 to 75 talent between musicians and artists. Yeah. And just kind of not inventing the wheel, but improving the wheel.
So what has Banjay been doing?
Banjay over the last 7 years actually has been doing a lot of your local events, whether it's weddings, whether it's bar mitzvahs, whether it's corporate events, private parties, even doing a lot of your local bars and what have you, case may be, just gaining a lot of different contracts and booking these talents to be able to fulfill these.
And you would pay the
needs.
talent?
Yes, we pay the talent.
Talent would get paid?
Yes.
Did they pay you well, Janice?
Paid pretty good.
So Janice, I'm assuming Janice was a part. I'm acting like I don't know. I'm going to drop the act. Yes, Janice was a part of Banjay.
Yes.
Talk about that.
She was a part of Banjay. Well, it was very simple. I mean, moving from the DoRohn production team into the chapter of Banjay Entertainment, it was a no-brainer for me. Banjay Entertainment or the band J, and the different bands that we have, they have to have characters.
Yeah.
And so based on what
J was the flagship band.
J was the
Entertainment.
flagship band of
Gotcha.
J Entertainment. And so we definitely, with these different talent, we had different characters that would play certain roles. And Janice obviously was the singer-sanger
Yes.
of the group.
Let's be honest. JOHDI was the franchise player
Absolutely.
of Band J.
Especially season 1.
Yeah.
Season 1 of Band J. Because there was a lot of different talent that was coming in or what have you. And so that first season, she was definitely one of the franchise players. We actually said this. Band J was actually going to be a reality TV show.
We did talk about that.
We did talk about that.
Wow.
But Carlos King, we still have that deal on the table.
Yes,
if you would
sir.
like it.
Yes, sir.
Just, let us know. It's a great concept. So, JOHDI, let me ask you this question. Was that your first kind of play in the whole cover band world, and how did that feel? I mean, because like you were an aspiring artist, but now you're part of this cover band doing weddings and corporate events and private parties. Like, how did that feel?
So I definitely think that it was a next step in my journey because when I was like 14, 15, 16, my voice was so mature that I would be allowed in like certain little bars and clubs.
Oh yeah,
through the back door, sing and get out.
Come on in here, girl.
But to be on a much bigger scale with a group of people, different creatives, and to pull it all together, and for DoRohn to have all of this mainstream top 100, top 40 charts music, for us to learn all different genres and things like that. I think for me, that was a big part of my journey as far as growing and becoming a little bit more versatile and stage presence. I think that being a part of a cover band helps with a lot of that because you get all the practice you can get. You get all the practice you need. You're covering all of these songs by these artists that are big, and you have to deliver that for the crowd that you're singing for. So
that was the thing. I'll be honest with you. That was the thing that impressed me the most about you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you already know, I don't hide it very well. You are one of my favorite vocalists, period.
Thank you very much.
But your talent in that was not the thing that really, it was really, if I'm honest about it tonight, your work ethic.
Yeah.
We're in Detroit. So Detroit has a lot of singers.
Yeah.
But and we've been around a lot of singers, but your work ethic trumps a lot of their talent. There is not I have yet to see you come to a gig
Unprepared
and rely on a phone or an iPad or sheets on the floor for lyrics.
Yeah, which is it can be hard.
And because I'm talking about in the context of a Band J show, I mean, they're doing 75, 90-minute sets.
Yeah.
Nonstop, going from high intense good parts of the song right to the next song, and I mean back and forth. And so I don't know, there may be 30, 40 songs in a 90-minute set, maybe, I don't know, but I mean, you know them all.
Yeah.
It's incredible, like your capacity to maintain and to.
Yeah.
And what's your process for that? Since we're on the processing podcast, what is your process for that? Because I can't remember. Nathan.
Well, she has an advantage, and I could jump in on this, and I'll let her take it from here. But this will be the alley hoop here. She has an advantage because she has very photographic memory.
Yes. So I do
Really?
I do
Have you watched the show Suits?
I have not watched it yet.
Oh
but
my
I'm gonna watch
goodness!
it.
You gotta
'Cause
watch
I heard
Suits.
it was really good.
It's so good.
I'm gonna watch
And they were
it.
talking about, you said photographic memory. It's like Mike Ross. So just
Okay.
remember the name Mike Ross
Okay.
when you start watching Suits.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start watching that. But I definitely have a photographic memory, and also just being an actress and being in theater, I was taught how to retain and how to learn.
Come on,
parts.
theater.
So all of that kind of helped and just worked to
Yeah.
my advantage. But yeah, I think when it comes to music, there's a few things that I do. If there's something that I have to learn within a few days, I sleep with it, because while our brains are sleeping, they're actually still moving and learning and retaining. And so I sleep with my music.
You let it get into that subconscious.
Yeah, let it get in my subconscious. So when I wake up, it's practically muscle memory, and I've been hearing it all night. And so that works for me. That works for me really well.
Do y'all understand y'all getting free game right now?
Yeah.
I mean, for every aspiring
It
singer,
works.
come on
It
now.
works. Sleep with your music. I tap sometimes to retain, like that helps. Just that moving something to help you retain it. Know the story. Every song has some type of story.
Okay, so let's go ahead and segue right into that, because we need to jump right in on this.
Yeah.
So you talked about knowing the story. When you know the story, how do you connect to that story? If it's something, or let me just ask that first. How do you best connect to the story?
Well, for one,
I told you I was going to get into it.
I think with music and listening to the story and connecting with it, for me, it always I have to find something in me that attaches to it. Like, there has to be something that makes sense to me. It may not be for me, and maybe for somebody else, but when I'm listening to the music, I can always connect that way. Like, who is this for? What is this about? Is this for me, or how does this make me feel? How do I want people to feel? And I think when I do that, I put those certain inflections in my voice. There's an emotion there when I like to perform. It helps me to better put that across to people, and they feel it. And I like to evoke that emotion through that. So that's just what I do. Yeah.
Do you remember the lines of "Don't Lie to Me" yet?
Of course, I know that song like the back of my hand. Believe it or not.
Can you give us just a stanza?
Tell me that it's over. Yeah.
I'm still messed up on that one line.
Yeah, that was good enough. I promise you. Like,
we're going to come back to you on that, because I want to know how you get into it. DoRohn, let's. You want to jump in?
I just want to jump in because she said characters, and we were talking about the characters and being motivated to learn lyrics. When Banjay Entertainment was developed, I was working for the last 2 years on David Foster. So literally, it was a Live Nation international production. JJ Lynn at the time. And so the motivation behind that was...
Shout out to Kern Brantley.
Absolutely. They made the play call for me to be a part of that. And obviously, that was the motivating factor. I've said, well, we're doing all this here in the Asian states and all over the world. Why don't somebody actually take some time to do something of value for an artist in the local scene? If somebody decide to do it right one time, then we have something valuable. And that's what makes Banjay so special, Banjay Entertainment so special. It's like a Live Nation worthy kind of show to your local event at a fraction of the cost. You may not be able to afford Beyonce, but you got Beyonce over here that just sounds just as good.
So Banjay was going, and then you decided to do Banjay Records.
Yes.
And Banjay Records is a platform where you're taking some of the talent that we have within Banjay Entertainment and putting out singles, EPs, and records on this talent.
Yep.
Who are some of the talent that you're going to be releasing? I mean, we're going to come back to JOHDI here in a minute, but talk about this Through the Fires cover.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some of the other talent that you have within Banjay Entertainment.
The likes of Alona, who's going to be released at the spring and summer of next year. 2 singles we'll be doing with videos as well. Mike Tuman, Elena, Cherry Black. I mean, these are names and characters. And of course, Keem the franchise. Cannot forget about him as far as that aspect.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of talent that has come through that we're motivated to making sure that these characters are already loved. Now let's give them their own stories.
So you're doing Banjay Entertainment. Banjay the band is actually getting gigs, but then, we're working with event planners, wedding planners, and then an opportunity comes along for an upcoming wedding of one of the Detroit Pistons, and they really wanted a piano vocalist, real stripped down type of a thing. And so you two start getting in the lab and just recording several songs one night at the studio. to kind of just send them a sample because they really wanted a taste of, well, and rightfully so. They want to be very particular about who's going to be at their wedding. Yeah. This is their big day. They don't want to leave anything to chance. And so we had to actually video record you guys, you playing, you singing in a studio, just straight live. And then there were several songs we did that night. We're talking about
Run to You.
Whitney Houston's Run to You.
Yeah.
What else?
Celine Dion.
Because You Love Me. What was the other song?
Why Did I Choose You?
Why Did I Choose You by Barbra. Listen, these are not easy songs to sing.
Or play.
Yeah. Let alone memorize all the words to these songs and deliver them in such a powerful and potent way. And then the fourth one that was done was
Through the Fire.
And so when you did Through the Fire, there was just something that happened.
So
I remember when you sent me the files after it was done. I saw the video and I just said, man, there's just something on this.
Yeah. The interesting thing about, once again, we did not plan for this. There was no quality control that was exercised during this time.
So you weren't even trying to record Through the Fire.
Let me prove it to you.
This was just a rehearsal, basically.
Absolutely.
Pretty
much because we were just trying to get the gig because the piano was in the same room with the microphone where the vocalist was cutting.
Yeah,
that's not normal practice. You got to have some type of screen, you got to have some type of booth and room.
So you mean to tell me what people see on the video is actually what is on the
in its raw form.
Yeah, it's raw.
So this is like that old Motown. We're gonna cut it together on the one. Stop the tape. We cut it back. Whatever.
But we didn't do
that.
That was that. But that we just
had to sing through it.
Play through it straight down.
Sing through.
It's no punch me in.
No punch me in.
Good night.
That's the amazing part about this story. Absolutely.
How did you connect with Through the Fire? Talk about the story of Through the Fire.
Shaka. To be willing to say that you're willing to go through the fire for someone is crazy to me.
Listen.
But that's the love that she felt. She said, through whatever comes, what may, I'll be right here.
Wow.
And so I think that some people may not feel like that about somebody out there. You may not have a love like that, but there is somebody.
Have you ever had a love like that? That you would go through the fire? Good night.
I'm not going to get burnt up. I'm just not going to do it. As far as I'm concerned, I won't be going through any fire.
I'm not going to get burned. First degree, second degree, third.
I like to say,
what we're not going to do.
Yeah, I'd be right to die, but I prefer not to die.
Yeah.
So, but I think there is someone, there's always someone.
There's always someone.
And so, I could think about just my family, just my mother, my siblings, my nieces and my nephew. These are people that I feel like whatever happens, I'm the pull-up auntie. I'm going to pull up through the fire. I'm going to be there for you. I want to be right there. So, yeah, I think I had to really connect with that in that way. That is a deep kind of love.
That is.
So, I had to connect with it in that sense.
So what I'm hearing is you finding the connection points. I mean, every on-ramp may not be the same for every individual, for every singer.
Yeah.
You sing it from one perspective. Somebody else may come along and sing it from a completely different perspective.
Yeah.
But yet and still finding that connection point is vitally important.
It's very important. It helps with the delivery. It helps with the finesse. It helps with the way that you deliver something. So for me, I have to connect. Everything has to connect somehow for me.
Who are your musical influences?
So I definitely grew up listening to a lot of the oldies, a lot of the classics. My mom kept me with Aretha. The first time she discovered that I was a singer, I was singing Freedom by Aretha in the kitchen and I was 7. And she was like, she knew I could sing, but I was in there, Freedom, like full blown. And she was like, oh, yeah, you're a singer. You're a singer. So Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, grew up listening to all of those albums. And then, of course, you got to skip to like the new, well, of course, there's Anita Baker because her voice is smooth like butter. And then you have the Brandy and the Jasmine Sullivan of today. Beyonce was always somebody that I looked up to because, I mean, she's an entertainer.
Can we just roll it back for a minute? Jasmine Sullivan. People. Do you understand? What's your favorite Jasmine song?
Ooh.
Out of the many.
So my favorite Jasmine Sullivan song will have to be off of one of her latest albums, Mona Lisa. She talks a lot about the beauty of yourself, and Mona Lisa is considered the perfect painting, the most beautiful drawing, but to not be perfect, but to be beautiful, to feel like you're your own Mona Lisa. And so I perform that song a lot, but man, the production, the music, how she sang that song, that's the one for me.
The Jasmine song for me, if I could just take the liberty, it's all about the uniqueness of the delivery. Stuttering.
Oh yeah, that'll always be a classic.
That and 10 seconds.
Yes, those will always be classics.
Goodness,
I love makeup though. That's my one.
Shout out to Jasmine Sullivan.
Shout out to Jazz. But yeah, that's my girl, and I connect with her too because she played Dorothy when she was like 11 in The Wiz, and I did the same thing.
I was the Tin Man.
Really?
Come on, slide some oil to me. What you say now?
You don't have STP.
Come on, if you don't have STP, will be just fine. Yes, it will.
Yeah, so
I love that.
Those are a few of my faves. I have plenty. I listen to so much music. I even listen to Tracy Chapman, and my mom, she used to play Tracy Chapman, and I know every song there is to know. But I feel like Tracy is one of the best writers. So I really look up to her in the sense of she's a storyteller, and everything that she writes has substance. Her voice is an acquired taste, but
see, I love good storytelling.
I love good storytelling.
That's probably so for me. That's why I lean. This is a little known fact. Country music.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Rascal Flatts.
Oh yeah.
There's my favorite song by Rascal Flatts is a song called Ellsworth, 1948.
Okay.
He tells a story about his grandmother who is experiencing dementia. The song starts off, Grandma burned the biscuits, nearly took the house down with it. And then now she's in assisted living, and we all knew this day would come. We know she was too gone to drive the day she went out on I-65, and now she's on the shoulder crying. And something else, but then they go on and talk about how her mind just quit. But when you bring up Grandpa, it's like somebody flipped the switch.
Wow!
And like that whole story about that, like you can connect with that. Like stories in music are important. So let's talk about this story that we're getting to release. Well, it was released 5 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago.
Get it on all your digital platforms. Through the Fire, DoRohn featuring JOHDI. Talk about, when y'all did it, what made you say, we need to release this?
Our A&R, one of our A&Rs, Jharid Collins, who's actually shooting one of the videos right now.
What's up, Pedro?
We call him Pedro.
Deacon Pedro Fry is his name. That's what we call him.
Got the keys to every church. Okay, so, no, but literally, we got done with the first tape, and he says to me, I won't repeat exactly what he said.
Yeah, because his words, we still trying to get him.
He just said, I know that we're actually going after a gig, but bump a gig. This is a record that the entire world needs to have access to. You need to think about releasing this as a single. And when he said that, I was like, it was like just coming up out of water, holding your breath for a long time. I said, oh, Banjay, we've been talking about Banjay Records, so here we go. And it just came upon us like that. So I give him all the credit for realizing that, because basically what he says between what you're playing and what she is over here clowning, singing, says it is undeniable. And that was the thing.
I will say this. I was in the barbershop, and my good friend Paul PDA Allen,
yes, sir,
was in the barbershop, and I let him hear the record, and PDA, amazing producer, engineer, songwriter. The whole nine is produced for pop I mean, he between him and J Moss, they probably had #1 hits at the same time in the three genres or more at one
Same
time.
time, yep, sir.
I let him hear the record, and he just lost his mind. He was like, "Who is this?" I said, "I can't believe you've never heard." He was like, "This voice." I mean, he was flabbergasted at just how because he knew. I mean, as a musician, as a person, that's not an easy song to deliver.
No.
And you did it with so much emotion, so much passion, so much conviction. That's why I keep going back to this connecting to the story, because, when you get to that part, when there's a feeling, won't let go, like you'll fall off on everything, like how you let go on the let go, like all the things were just so intricately in place, and it was amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
For me, full circle moment. Of course, growing up with Dad, who was the founder of DoRohn Entertainment and everything, a reason why we're even here. I used to ride in the back. We used to ride in the back with our father, and back of a car, and listening to 97.1 Joy FM. And
Joy FM.
The
JOHDI.
easy listening station is what it was. And this was one of the songs that would come on that radio station often. And obviously, David Foster, one of my big musical influences, he's the producer of and part writer of the song. And so for this to be the first record of Banjay Records to be released with an amazing talent. See, it's labeled as DoRohn Records, as my record, but the surprise is that this is a platform to expose as many great talent that we have here. And I'm just so honored to have you again.
Thank you.
And continuously. We have more in the works.
Yes.
So, just be on the lookout for it as well.
So real quickly, talk about Banjay Records, the first release being a cover. The music industry, I mean, is a lot of people don't know this. The music industry is comprised of what, 80%?
90% now.
90% covers.
Yeah, catalog music.
So when you have that, talk about the importance of really doing your best and paying homage to those writers, producers, and even the vocalists that delivered it. How much pressure that is, and how much you really want to do.
Oh my goodness!
Like even though this wasn't something that was planned, did you ever, like, once you said let's go ahead and do it, or like put it out, did you say let's redo it? JOHDI, come on.
I was like, can I see the video? Because y'all trying to do what?
Yeah.
Because I'm so, and especially in today's industry, and there's a thing about artistry and how we're put so much into our heads, and everything is overthinking, and there's a lot of natural presence taken out of artistry today. Everything has to be you gotta plan this, this has to be calculated. So for us to be doing that for basically an audition tape, to submit as a little sample to somebody who wanted to book us for a wedding gig, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna release this as a single." I'm like, "Wait, cause no, let's go back in, let's do some auto-tune, pitch correct, just certain things, because that's just what we're used to in today's society." But I've always felt like I was born in the wrong time period. I've always felt like I should have been back there with Whitney and them. And in that big Motown studio room singing, very natural, very raw. So I really appreciated it. Once I got to see the video and I heard it, I'm like, wow, the room sounded great.
The room sounded great. Shout out to Plymouth Rock.
Plymouth Rock studio recording studios,
So it actually made me feel a little proud, to see that, what we did we didn't know what it would turn out to be.
And you felt comfortable not going back, touching up anything, and just
once I heard it, once I seen it, and once I heard it, I was like, oh, okay, this is great.
So I'm telling y'all, when y'all hear this is not any, like, I'm going to tell this story
Yeah, go
because
ahead,
you
go
know one of our mixing consultants is
Phil Tan.
Phil Tan.
Yes, sir.
We sent the record to Phil Tan, and everybody in the industry who knows Phil Tan knows that he is like the mixer.
He's
engineer.
mixed your favorite records.
Trust me, yeah, he's done it. His hand has been on it. Phil wouldn't touch it.
No.
He wouldn't touch it.
And I needed him to tell me that.
Yeah.
I needed him to tell me that. That was very important because he says to me, he says, DoRohn, he says, I've gone back and forth listening to this thing. Let's leave it the way it is. And mind you, now there's a story, this quick sidebar to come full circle. David Foster talks about I Will Always Love You. And when he sent that to Clive Davis, and it was a demo. It was just the rough mix, I should say, rough mix. And so Clive responds back to him and says, David, this is amazing. I love it. He says, okay, we're just going to make do some final tweaks and mixes. Let me add some arrangements. He says, okay, whatever, but I love this. Come back. He sends his final mix, and Clive Davis calls back and says, David, what did you do? And he said, what are you talking about? This is the final mix. He says, it's terrible. What happened to what you had? And he says, well, did they end up getting into an argument? He says, well, this is the final product. He says, no, what you had was the final product. What we hear today is a rough mix to David Foster. Wow. So sometimes your perfection can mess up a moment.
Yes.
Wow. Your
internal thing of being a perfectionist. And I know she is. I know I am. It's kind of OCD. But one of those things is that sometimes you just have to let a moment be. Like I love what Quincy Jones says. Sometimes you got to move out the way and just let God walk into a room where the creative aspect is happening. And that's what happened. Yeah. That's what happened with this song. The raw essence. I mean, the piano really wasn't all the way tuned. It was tuned to the best of his ability, but, some strings was kind of hitting, when you hit one note at the same time. And even it just, you can actually see the actual mallets hitting the strings. So it was a lot of imperfect moments that made the moment what it is. Yeah. And we're proud of it. First record of Band J Records.
Through the Fire.
Through the Fire.
DoRohn featuring JOHDI.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I want y'all to go listen to the record, download it, stream it, put it on repeat all weekend long, all next week. Get it into your system. You're going to be hearing a lot more from them. Your favorite wedding singer and your favorite Mr. Piano Man, DoRohn featuring JOHDI. Thank y'all so much for listening, checking us out here on Processing with Band J Records. Great stuff.
Thank you, man.
Good stuff.
Thank you for the
Great stuff. So let's go ahead and see artist. Yeah, it came up artist. Through the Fire.
I look in your eyes and I can see we've loved so dangerously. You're not trusting your heart to anyone. You tell me you're gonna play it smart. We're through before we start, but I believe that we've only just begun. When it's this good, there's no